request to do my Danish cream squares. So this is what we're going to do today. So I've got a 9 by 13 pan, and I have my graham crackers trimmed to fit in here. So you'll need to break them up so that they'll actually fit into the whole bottom of the pan. The next step, so there's 6 layers in this cake. So this one here is cooked vanilla pudding. So you'll just want to make sure it's not the instant. It doesn't matter what brand it is, just make sure it's the cooked vanilla pudding mix. And you'll have to use, instead, the box tells you to use 3 cups of milk. You only want to use 2.5 cups of milk because you want this to be a little bit thicker. You don't want it quite as runny. So I just did mine in the microwave. It took about 6 minutes. You do 2 minutes at a time, stir it, 2 minutes, stir, 2 minutes, stir, and by the 6-minute mark it was thick. And then I put it in a sink with cold water to cool it down. You don't want to put it hot on the crackers because then when you do the next layer, which is whipping cream, the whipping cream will melt. So I've cooled this down. It's not cold, but it's just room temperature. So we're going to get this layer on top of the crackers. It's a little bit thicker pudding because we've used less milk, so it's going to be a little bit harder to spread. But just take your time. And when I was cooling in the sink, I just stirred it every couple of minutes because I didn't want to get that, that crust. You can get a crust on top of your cooked pudding. I didn't want to get that in there, so I just stirred it every couple of minutes till it got down to room temperature. All right, so it took a couple minutes. I just wanted to spread it with a knife. It's just because it's thickening already, it's a little bit harder to spread it, and I didn't want to lift up all the crackers. There we go. So that's your pudding layer. And then your next layer will be whipping cream. So I have 500 mils of whipping cream that I've whipped up, and I added 2 tablespoons of sugar to it. So you just want to whip that up in your mixer, and that's going to be your next layer. So we're going to also gently spread this on, so you don't want to mix your layers together. So just take your time to get it spread nicely over top. I think the original recipe only called for 250 mil, but I found it was always hard to get it to spread because it was barely enough, so I just make it with more. So just try to be gentle. Try not to leave any holes. All right, so that is our 3rd layer. And the next layer is a layer of graham crackers again. And once again, we're going to trim these to fit. Just use a knife to get them to fit nice. And if you break them, it's okay. You're not going to see the individual crackers. So I'm just going to get these trimmed up to fit on here before we do the next layer. In these boxes, there's usually 3 packages. So I managed to do 1 package for the bottom layer and 1 package for the top layer. So 2/3 of a box. Then your 5th layer is going to be, I have 1 cup of icing sugar, and I have 2 tablespoons of milk in here, and I've just mixed it up so that you can have a nice drizzling consistency. And you're just going to drizzle that on. You can easily multiply this recipe and make a big cookie sheet of it if you have a big party and you need to have a nice big dessert. It'll be a little bit of a thinner, it'll be a thinner bar then, but doesn't matter. Still tastes good. All right, and then your last layer will be some chocolate. This is just all your decoration on the top. So I melted 2 just semi-sweet chocolate squares with a little bit of butter. I think I have 2 teaspoons of butter in here. I just wanted it to be nice and drizzly. So I just put this in the microwave for 1 minute, stirred it and let it sit so that any big chunks could melt. And you're just going to drizzle this on here as well. So this dessert has to sit in the fridge for a minimum of 4 hours before you can serve it because it has to soften the crackers. And it's usually only good for a couple of days. By day 3, the crackers start to get too soggy. So ideally it's a dessert that you want to be able to use up fairly quickly. You can't freeze it, it has to just stay in the fridge. So you don't want to, if you're only going to have a smaller group, just make a smaller one because it only stays nice for a few days. So once this is done here, I'm going to cover it with saran wrap, put it in the fridge for at least 4 hours. We have company for dessert tomorrow, so we're going to just wait until tomorrow before we serve this.